The discovery. Dr. Sarah Chen wiped the red Martian dust from her scanner's display and squinted at the readings. Something was wrong. Or rather, something was there that shouldn't be, a perfectly symmetrical cavity 200 meters beneath the Valles Marineris excavation site. After 3 years of leading the Mars Deep Structure Initiative, she'd learned to trust her instincts, and right now they were screaming that this was important. "Hayes, are you seeing this?" She adjusted her helmet's comm link, waiting for her chief engineer to respond. The winds were picking up, creating static in the communication channels. "Coming through now, document." Alexander Hayes' voice crackled through her helmet. That's not natural formation. Those angles are too precise." Sarah took a deep breath, watching as her suit's environmental system struggled to compensate for her suddenly elevated heart rate. "Get me a deep penetrating scan. Full spectrum." "And Hayes? Let's keep this between us for now." The discovery changed everything. Within 48 hours, the cavity revealed itself to be an artificial structure, unmistakably of non-human origin. Within 72 hours, the UN Security Council held an emergency session. Within a week, the Mars Deep Structure Initiative became a joint military-scientific operation, with Sarah maintaining civilian leadership only because she'd made herself indispensable to understanding what they'd found. The structure turned out to be a weapon. Not just any weapon, a device capable of inducing artificial solar flares targeted at specific planetary bodies. The civilization that built it had been advanced enough to harness the power of stars themselves. The technical documentation they discovered, encrypted in crystalline matrices throughout the facility, suggested it had been constructed as a last resort against some ancient threat. Admiral James Rodriguez stood beside Sarah in the newly constructed command center, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display of the weapons systems. "Can we get it operational?" Sarah hesitated. The answer was yes. Her team had already deciphered most of the activation protocols. The real question was whether they should. "Admiral, this device was built to destroy worlds. The ethical implications." Dr. Chen, Rodriguez interrupted, his voice gentle but firm. "Humanity just discovered we're not alone in the universe. More importantly, we've discovered that at least one civilization out there built planet-killing weapons. We need to understand this technology. Not to use it, but to defend against it." Sarah nodded slowly, but something in her gut told her they were opening a door that couldn't be closed. "I'll need more resources. And complete autonomy in selecting my team." "Done," Rodriguez replied without hesitation. "But everything stays classified at the highest level. If word gets out about what we found here." The implications hung in the air between them. Humanity had just found its first piece of alien technology, and it was a weapon of mass destruction. The wrong people learning about this could trigger panic, or worse, a rush to claim the weapon by forces who wouldn't hesitate to use it. Over the next 3 months, Sarah's team worked tirelessly to understand the device they dubbed the Helios Array. The more they learned, the more Sarah's unease grew. The weapon wasn't just powerful, it was elegant, precise, and terrifyingly effective. A civilization advanced enough to build this should have had better options. What had driven them to create something capable of such destruction? The answer came on a quiet Tuesday morning, buried in a decoded data crystal. Sarah's hands trembled as she read the translation. "The Nexus approaches. Our worlds burn. This weapon is our legacy, our warning. They cannot be reasoned with. They cannot be stopped. They can only be destroyed. To those who find this, learn from our failure. Strike first, or prepare to join us in extinction." Sarah immediately called an emergency meeting with Admiral Rodriguez. As she waited in the secure conference room, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were actors in a play whose script had been written eons ago. The weapon wasn't just a precaution, it was a torch passed down through time, from one civilization to another facing an existential threat. "Admiral, she began when Rodriguez arrived, "We need to talk about the Nexus." Before she could continue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Hayes burst into the room, his face pale. "Doctor, Admiral, we're picking up something at the edge of the solar system. Multiple objects, moving at impossible speeds. They're not natural, and they're heading straight for us." Sarah met Rodriguez's gaze, understanding passing between them. The weapon they discovered wasn't just a relic of an ancient conflict, it was about to become humanity's first line of defense against a threat they hadn't even known existed. The Mars facility erupted into controlled chaos as they initiated emergency protocols. Sarah found herself staring at the warning left by the weapon's creators, understanding now why they'd built it, why they'd hidden it, and why they'd made sure it would be found. The Helios array wasn't just a precaution anymore. It was humanity's inheritance, and they were about to learn exactly why its creators had deemed it necessary. First contact. The objects approaching the solar system defied conventional physics. They moved like living things, adjusting their trajectory with impossible precision, leaving gravitational distortions in their wake that made Earth's best astronomers question everything they thought they knew about space travel. Dr. Sarah Chen hadn't slept in 3 days. The command center beneath the Martian surface had transformed into humanity's first line of defense, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were desperately unprepared. The holographic displays showed 12 objects, each roughly the size of Manhattan, arranged in a perfect geometric formation. "They're slowing down," Hayes reported, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "Approaching Jupiter's orbit. New trajectory analysis suggests they'll reach Earth in approximately 72 hours. Admiral Rodriguez stood at the center of the room, his uniform crisp despite the tension that filled the air. "What about the communications attempts?" The ultimatum. The Europa colony's transformation had taken less than 6 hours. The Titan outpost fell 4 hours after that. With each passing moment, the Nexus's collective consciousness grew stronger, incorporating human knowledge, technology, and bodies into its ever-expanding harmony. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the Helios array's core chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing the steady advance of Nexus vessels throughout the solar system. Each red dot represented thousands of human lives already lost to the collective. Not dead, something worse than dead. "They've breached Mars's upper atmosphere," Hayes reported through the comm system. "Our surface facilities are being evacuated to the underground bunkers." Admiral Rodriguez's voice came next, tight with controlled tension. "Dr. Chen, we need options. Earth's governments are fracturing. China's already talking about unilateral nuclear strikes." Sarah studied the ancient weapons control systems, her mind racing. The Helios array wasn't just powerful, it was precise. It could target specific ships, even specific parts of ships. But the Nexus vessels were interconnected in ways they didn't fully understand. Destroying one might alert all the others, or worse, trigger an immediate, full-scale assault. "Admiral," she said carefully, "I think I've found something. The array's creators left us more than just a weapon. They left us their tactical data." The facility shuddered as something massive passed overhead. Sarah tried to ignore it, focusing on the crystalline data matrices she'd spent months studying. "The Nexus has a hierarchical structure. Their ships are connected, yes, but they're not truly equal. There are command nodes, focal points that coordinate larger groups." "You're saying we could cut off the head of the snake?" Rodriguez asked. "More like, disrupting a neural network. If we can identify the primary command nodes and target them simultaneously." A new voice cut through their discussion, the harmonious, multi-toned sound of the Nexus itself, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Your resistance is inefficient. Your technology is known to us. Your weapons cannot harm the harmony. You have 6 hours to begin integration protocols. After that, we will no longer permit choice in the matter." Sarah's blood ran cold. They knew about the Helios array. Of course they did, they'd already absorbed the knowledge from the Europa and Titan colonies. But if they knew about it, why weren't they trying to destroy it? Unless... Hayes, she called urgently, I need you to check something. Compare the Nexus ship configurations with the tactical data from the array's creators. Look for pattern matches. For several tense minutes, only the sound of distant machinery and Hayes's rapid typing filled the command center. Then, oh my God. Sarah, they're the same patterns. The Nexus ships are arranged exactly like they were in the ancient battle data. They haven't evolved. They haven't adapted. They're still using the same strategies they used millions of years ago. Hope flared in Sarah's chest. The Nexus was vast, powerful, and incomprehensibly alien, but it was also predictable. It absorbed knowledge but didn't innovate. It grew but didn't evolve. Its greatest strength, its perfect harmony, was also its greatest weakness. Admiral, Sarah said, her voice steady now, I need you to get me something, and I need it fast. The most chaotic, unpredictable thing humanity has ever created. What are you thinking, Doctor? The Helios array works by inducing targeted solar flares, right? But what if we don't target their ships directly? What if we create something they can't predict, can't absorb, can't harmonize? Rodriguez caught on quickly. You want to turn the sun itself into a weapon. Not a weapon, Sarah corrected. A source of chaos. The array's creators tried to fight the Nexus with precision and power. But that's exactly what the Nexus understands. What it can't handle, what it's never been able to handle, is true randomness. True human unpredictability. The next hour was a blur of activity. While Sarah and Hayes reprogrammed the array's targeting systems, Rodriguez coordinated with Earth's remaining free military forces. The plan was insane, dangerous, and exactly the kind of thing no rational species would ever attempt. In other words, it was perfectly human. As the 6-hour deadline approached, Sarah stood before the array's main control interface. Above them, Nexus ships had surrounded Mars completely. The collective consciousness pressed against every communication channel, promising harmony, promising peace, promising an end to the messy, chaotic existence of individual thought. Ready? Hayes asked softly. Sarah thought of Europa's empty-eyed colonists, of the ancient civilization that had built this weapon, of all the species that had faced this choice before. But humanity wasn't those species. Humanity was chaos and creativity in terrible, beautiful freedom. Ready, she replied, and reached for the controls. Breaking point. The sun wasn't meant to dance. Yet there it was, writhing with unprecedented solar storms as the Helios array poured humanity's mathematical chaos into its cosmic order. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the readings with a mixture of awe and terror as the stellar plasma began moving in patterns that defied all known models of solar behavior. Status report. Admiral Rodriguez's voice cut through the tension in the command center. Hayes' fingers flew across his console. The array is functioning at 120% of projected capacity. The targeting algorithms are, well, they're doing exactly what we hoped. They're not making any sense at all. Above Mars, the Nexus fleet had begun to react. Their perfect geometric formations wavered as they attempted to adapt to the unprecedented solar activity. The collective consciousness that had been broadcasting its promises of harmony suddenly fractured, multiple voices speaking in discord for the first time. We are, error, harmony cannot, error, what is, error? Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The plan was working. The Helios array wasn't just creating solar flares, it was creating unpredictable, chaotic bursts of energy that followed mathematical patterns derived from human brain activity during moments of peak creativity. It was pure chaos, channeled through one of the most powerful forces in the solar system. Multiple Nexus vessels showing signs of system failure, Hayes reported. They're trying to compensate, but their predictive algorithms can't handle the random fluctuations. But victory, Sarah knew, wouldn't come easily. The Nexus had survived for millions of years, absorbing countless civilizations. Even as their formations broke apart, even as their consciousness fragmented, they were learning. Adapting. The very thing that made them vulnerable to chaos also made them dangerous. They would absorb this experience, incorporate it into their collective knowledge. Second wave initiating, Sarah announced, activating the next phase of their desperate plan. The Helios Array's crystals hummed with power as they channeled not just chaos, but human emotion. Fear, love, hope, anger, all translated into energy patterns that rippled through the solar plasma. The effect on the Nexus ships was immediate and catastrophic. Vessels that had weathered the initial assault began to move erratically, their perfect synchronization shattered by the emotional noise that humans generated as naturally as breathing. But then something unexpected happened. "Doctor," Hayes called out, his voice tight with concern, "we're getting readings from the integrated colonies. The assimilated humans, they're responding to the emotional patterns." Sarah rushed to his station, staring at the data in disbelief. The colonists who had been absorbed into the Nexus consciousness were beginning to show signs of individual brain activity. The emotional chaos wasn't just disrupting the Nexus ships, it was awakening the human minds trapped within the collective. "They're fighting back," Sarah whispered. "The part of them that's still human, it recognizes the chaos. It's trying to break free." The command center erupted into action as they realized the implications. They weren't just fighting against the Nexus, they were fighting for every human mind that had been absorbed into its harmony. But pushing the array any harder could destabilize the sun itself, threatening not just the Nexus but all life in the solar system. Admiral Rodriguez understood the choice before them. "Dr. Chen, what are our options?" Sarah studied the readings, her mind racing. The Nexus fleet was wounded but not defeated. The integrated colonies were showing signs of breaking free, but the process was far from complete. And the sun was approaching dangerous levels of instability. "We need to push harder," she said finally, knowing what it could cost. "The Nexus is already adapting to our current patterns. If we don't break their hold now, we'll lose our advantage forever." And the sun? The array's creators built in safety protocols. But if we override them? Sarah met the Admiral's gaze. "We'll be taking a gamble with the entire solar system." Hayes spoke up from his station, his voice quiet but firm. "The colonists are suffering. Every moment we wait, the Nexus regains more control. We have to try." Rodriguez nodded slowly. "Do it." "But Doctor." He paused, the weight of command heavy in his voice. "If this goes wrong, if the sun starts to destabilize beyond recovery, you have to promise me you'll shut it down. Even if it means losing the colonies." Sarah felt the burden of that promise settle onto her shoulders. This was the cruel calculus of survival, the risk of losing everything in an attempt to save everyone. She turned to the array's controls, her hands steady despite the magnitude of what she was about to attempt. Above them, the Nexus fleet continued to fragment, their harmony shattered by human chaos. Within their ships, thousands of absorbed minds fought for individuality, for the right to be gloriously, catastrophically human. "Beginning final sequence," Sarah announced, and reached for the override controls. "May whatever gods exist forgive us for what we're about to do." The sun blazed with unprecedented fury as humanity rolled the cosmic dice, betting everything on the power of chaos over harmony, of freedom over conformity, of the individual over the collective. The next few minutes would determine whether that bet paid off, or ended in disaster.